비행 수업? 빗자루 비행법과 기동성에 대해 가르쳐준다는데? 드디어 빗자루 이제 탈 수 있는 건가? 아니 이거 말고 장비. (10레벨이네)
Everybody grab a broom, and we shall get started. Mr. Clopton, your attention, please.
Sorry, Madam Kagawa.
Everyone, please welcome a new student to our flying class.
Welcome. Hello.
The goal of today is to remind all of you how to maneuver on a broomstick safely, as broom flight is, first and foremost, a means of transportation. This, I fear, some of you have forgotten. Diving, rolling, and loop-the-loops will not be taught or in fact tolerated in this class. We'll leave that to professional Quidditch players, like the Toyohashi Tengu.
Boo!
Not a fan, I take it? Now, let's see how well everyone kept up with their practice over the summer holidays. For those who need a refresher, step up to your broom, say up firmly and clearly, then kick your leg over and rest your weight on the seat. Up! Thank you. Now, your turn.
Up! Up, you stupid ratty school broom!
Up.
One leg over, so there's a leg on each side. None of that side saddle nonsense. A gust of wind will throw you
이제
right
이거
off.
타고 밖에서 날아다닐 수 있는 건가?
And if you hear my whistle while you're in flight, ground yourself at once.
오.
Good. Now, for your first lesson, fly through each ring.
조작감이 좀
Do
이상한데
take
이거?
care. The
조작감이 좀
books are
이상해요,
school
이거.
property. I want them returned
조작감이
in
좀
one piece.
마음에 들지 않는데.
This'll take some getting used to.
조작감이 이상해.
Well done. Now that you're acclimatized to your broom, let's see how well you manage with a more advanced exercise, shall we?
뭐야?
This next set of rings will take you around the grounds for more of a challenge.
오.
What a view!
오.
Hello! Nice day for a flight! This is rather fun.
Ah, the old boathouse. Wish you could have experienced crossing the lake as a first year.
야, 내 게임 진짜 잘 만들긴 했다, 근데 이거.
Whoa, our aquatic resident likes to make an
뭐야,
appearance
저거.
once in a while.
수중동물?
That wasn't too bad.
Oh, well done! Have a moment?
나이스.
I say, I watched you fly through those rings. You seem to handle yourself on that dusty school broom well enough. I'd imagine you're ready for something a bit more challenging. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We haven't probably
좀 더 어려운 거?
I'm Everett Clockton.
에버렛 클럽.
Am I right in suspecting that a Gryffindor
쟤는
like
어디야?
you might be interested in a high-flying adventure?
그거 마음에 드는데?
Can't say no to that. What did you have in mind?
A bit of a detour, so to speak. Follow me. The tour is about to begin. Follow closely now. Right now, we're flying over the Transfiguration Courtyard. Lovely as ever. Let's hope the headmaster isn't having tea by the window today.
이제 이거 밖에서 그냥 이거 타고 날아다니나 이제?
Nice to get above it all, isn't it?
밖에서 이거 타고 날아다니려나 계속?
Ahead of the gardens, the Hufflepuff common room windows just peek out. Bit claustrophobic for my taste.
How is Everett flying so quickly?
Here's something handy to know. Lean forward for a burst of
앞으로
speed.
숙여야 된다.
Helpful if you need to escape a tricky situation.
Now that's more like it.
오.
You sure you're not part hippogriff? There's the famous bridge. Think of all the magic holding it up.
버그 딱히 뭐
Look at it.
있는 거 없는 거 같은데요?
And the
아직까지는?
owlery.
게임하면서?
That's a bit of solid architecture, isn't it?
Flying tips and a jaunt around Hogwarts. This is quite the tour, Everett.
That's Kagawa's whistle. This concludes our tour. Best hurry back.
야, 쟤 왜 이렇게 빨라? 나도 엄청 빠르게 가고 있는 건데 지금.
Looks like she's already dismissed class. Better hurry and hand in our brooms. Dismount here.
And where have you two been?
Oh, hello, Professor. We were trying to get a bit of extra practice in.
Hefty points will be taken from each
아,
of you
너 때문에
for not
감정
following
먹었잖아,
my
이씨.
instructions.
아,
Mr. Clockton,
이거.
I'm disappointed in you. You're in this class because you're still not showing yourself, or frankly, your broom the proper respect.
빗자루 잘 줄도 모르는데 지금 나한테 지금 훈수 든
Class
거였어 얘?
is finished for the day. As for you, you do well to use
행실을
better
바르게 하려고
judgment in the
했다.
future.
벌써 찍혀버렸잖아.
Chin up. That was some rather
그
good fly.
비행실력은 괜찮아?
Sorry about that business with Kagawa. But you have to admit, those views were worth it.
그런 애 없는 것 같은데요? 문제가 생기지 않았으면 좋았을 텐데.
Perhaps, but we did get in trouble, and Kagawa could hold it against us.
Rotten luck, that. I didn't think she'd see us. But it's no matter. You seem at home on a broom. Bet if you had a fancy model, you could fly laps around Imelda. She's Kagawa's favorite. I could show her a thing or two if I had my own broom. Hate having to return the school broom after class.
Perhaps I have to purchase a broom then.
If you can, you should.
빗자루도 사야 돼?
Wish I could. I
뭐 성능이
recommend
다르고
visiting
있어?
Albie
그런
Weeks
게?
at Spintwitches in Hogsmeade. He's always looking to test new models. I'll keep an eye out for you in the sky.
레벨 10 됐다. 이거 뭐 여기서 빗자루 못 타요? 뭐야? 산 다음에 탈 수 있는 건가? 세바스찬이 늘 있는 어둠의 마법 방어법 교실 근처로 가면 만날 수 있을 것이다. 콤프링고? 구연마법? 위즐리 교수님께서 천문탑 7층 교도에서 보자고 하셨다. 일단 이거 먼저 깨줘? 아 이거 먼저 깰까? 6레벨짜리? 이건 뭐야? 샤프 교수님의 과제? 집중력 마법력을 획득하고 사용하세요. 막시마의 에드루스 마법력을 획득하고 두 마법력 동시에 사용하세요. 디펄소? 나 이거 먼저 깨줘. 구연 마법을 배울 수 있다. 구연 마법.
I can't seem to master the wicked one.
이 근처에 상자가 있는데 상자가 어딘지 모르겠네.
What am I missing?
Leviosa. Accio.
The chairs in the closet.
하지만 그런 학교는 존재하지 않습니다. 존재하지 않는다는 거. 여기도 뭔가가 있는데
Boy, can you help me?
도와달라고? 안 도와줄 건데.
And then the werewolves joined the goblins in the
Goblins,
uprising.
werewolves, where were you? In the Goblin Rebellion of...
아이씨 어디까지 올라가야 되는 거야? 멀어.
Professor Weasley?
Somewhere away from prying eyes.
뭐야? 문이 생기는데?
Forgive me, the headmaster stopped me and I... Merlin's beard. I see you've wasted no time. Well done. Shall we?
After you, Professor. What is this place?
여긴 뭐 하는 거지?
This is the
필요해
room
봐?
of requirement. It only appears when one is in real need of it. Ordinarily, a student might stumble upon this room
우연히
entirely
발견하지
by
우연히.
accident.
평생 발견하지
If
못하는 학생도
ever.
있다고 하네.
I'd only planned to suggest to you how to find it by walking past that bit of wall, focusing on what you need. But you've managed to reveal the room on your own. While I'm here, we should take advantage of the moment. Now, where is Deke? He must have sneaked past and gone ahead.
Deke, Professor.
The house elf I was speaking to in my classroom your first day.
뭐죠?
Thought he might help you use the room once you've found it. There's no chance I'm clambering over this mess. This presents the perfect opportunity.
소멸 마법 에발레스코.
Vanishing spell. You
에발레스코.
can cast Evanesco to banish certain objects, such as these chairs.
사라지게 할 수
and other
있다는데요?
things here in the room. I suggest you practice the wand movements first, then you can clear the chairs away.
에발레스코. 잘못 눌렀는데? 잘못 눌렀는데 됐어?
Splendid. Now,
자, 에바네스코. 물체 방에 필요의 방에서 시전하면 물체를 사라지게 하고 월장석이 반환됩니다.
go on those chairs. Excellent work.
오.
You'll note that you are now in possession of Moonstone. We
나
shall
월장석
discuss its
많은데?
uses later.
모아놓은 거?
Let's move on. Where in Merlin's name is that elf? Is that
A에게 여기서 오랫동안 널 기다렸어. 아마 네가 예상한 것보다 몇 센치 더 많은 양피지를 배정받았을 거야. 다시 만나고 싶으면 나에게
where
알려줘.
that had got to?
내 옛날
Can't
책가방이라는데?
believe it's still here.
이질리 교수?
I'll just take a quick look at
아,
this.
좋구나.
Give you an opportunity to explore on your own until we locate Deke.
Yes, Professor.
책가방 살펴볼 동안 내가 알아서 조사하라는데.
Dear me. Can't you keep it down? Some of us are trying to rest.
상자 꺼내야 될 거 아니야. 저 상자, 이 상자 가지고 뭐 할 수 있는 게 있나? 뭐 올라가고 뭐 그런 건가? 아, 이거 여기다 여기다가 대가지고
Incendio. Accio. Levioso.
여기 올라가는 거 아니야? 올라가는 거 같은데? 봤어요? 이거지. 근데 쓰레기템 주는데? 퍼즐 풀었더니만 쓰레기템 주네.
Hope this isn't as precarious as it looks.
An intruder! Stop them!
아유 주니?
No, not. That's not helpful, you worthless pile of tin!
방 주제에 나한테 목욕이 필요할 거라 생각하더니 좀 불쾌하네. 건방지게 말이야. 건방져? 뭐야 이거? 일로 가야 돼. 길이 여기밖에 없네.
How does anyone other than a house elf manage to get around in here? What was that? Was that a golden snitch?
Accio.
골든 스니치가
Perhaps
어딨어?
you should summon your wits and find out.
꺼내고.
I hope that house elf can find us in here.
자, 여기 안에 들어가 볼까요? 들어갈 수 있나? 여기 또 뭐가 있는데?
Accio. Levioso.
또 올라가야 되는 건가? 어? 아, 뭐가 된 거 같았는데. 아, 뭔지 모르겠지만 일단 된 거 같은 느낌이 있었는데. 에라이 씨.
Accio.
아이고.
Levioso.
내릴 수는 없냐 이거 다시?
Accio.
아, 저 궁금하긴 한데 저거 씨. 저기 또 뭐 도비 같은 얘가 있는데?
Yikes! Careful! Huh? Oh, there you are. Wait right there. Deke will come to you. Hello.
Ah, Deke, we've been looking for you.
Apologies, Professor Weasley. Deke was looking through some of what's appeared in the room since Deke was last here. Is this the student?
Indeed it is.
Deke is honored to meet you.
Deke has been a friend since I was a second
2학년일 때부터 친했어.
We discovered this room together. I mentioned you to Deke. We believe that you might be able to benefit from this room like I did. Deke, would you be so kind?
Of course, Professor Weasley. The Room of Requirement will always be equipped for the Seeker's needs. It's unplottable, so won't appear on any map. Most happen upon it by
우연히
accident.
발견한데
If
지도에
ever.
표시도 안 돼.
Deep seen students in need of an extra file for potions stumble upon the room filled with them. You seem to have accessed it in its form as the Room of Hidden Things.
I was thinking about needing a place away from prying eyes. Brilliant.
Oh, that explains it then.
What I need specifically is a place where I can catch up on my schoolwork without distraction.
Well then, the room can provide you with precisely that. Now, it's time to focus on what you need. Just close your eyes. Imagine the room precisely as you need it. The room will do the rest.
상상하면 알아서 되는 거야? 그게 구현 마법인가? 뭐야? 장소가 달라졌는다.
You've given yourself quite a canvas to work with. I look forward to seeing what you do with the space.
굉장히 넓어졌어.
And it seems the room has provided you with a desk of description. Excellent. It can identify unfamiliar items of clothing. One should always understand the effects of anything in which one is clothed.
설명하는 책상을 잠금해제했습니다. 책상을 사용하여 수집한 미확인 장비의 마법 속성을 알아냈어요? 미확인 장비 있긴 한데. 야, 무슨 디아블로야? 장비 뭐 식별해가지고 무슨 등급 그 아니 무슨 뭐 디아블로냐고. 망토 식별했는데? 근데 쓰레기 됐는데?
You'll find plenty of items of clothing that need to be identified. The desk will be an
딱
invaluable
봐도
resource.
쓰레기죠. 저 오른쪽에 아래로 돼 있는 거고 화살표.
I imagine the desk of description will come in handy.
It will. I hope you'll take advantage of it. Now, I'll give you a brief lesson
구현
in
마법.
conjuring. The room might not provide everything you need on its own.
Conjuring?
Yes, the magic of
물건을
creating
만들어내거나
or
나타나게 하는
conjuring objects. I'll teach you.
구현 마법.
Very good. When conjuring more complex objects, you'll need what's called a spellcraft. Spellcrafts are like recipes. They list the ingredients or resources needed to conjure a particular object. You should have acquired some for a potion station and potting table from tomes and scrolls in Hogsmeade.
I did. Where can I find the resources I need?
While resources such as moonstone
하일랜드
can be
전역에서
obtained
찾을 수 있지만
throughout the
구입하는 게
Highlands,
훨씬 안전하고
it's
쉬운 거고.
much
나 뭐
safer
많은데
and easier
월장소.
to purchase them. They can also be collected by vanishing objects in the room, such as the chairs you vanished earlier. In fact, you should have enough resources for now.
I see. Can I regain resources by vanishing something I've already conjured?
You can indeed. Quite perceptive. Why don't you give it a try? Go ahead and conjure the potion station and potting table. You should find both familiar since they'll resemble the ones you've already used to study magical plants and brew potions in class.
일단은 화분용 테이블하고 마법약 스테이션을 구현하라는데? 이건가? 구현 마법? 화분용 테이블? 아, 여기서 월장석 쓰는 거구나. 화분용 테이블이 없는데? 응? 마법약 스테이션? 이거 하나 만들어야 되나 본데? 친환경, 고딕, 최신식으로 가야지. 여기다 놔둬. 그만 만들어. 마법약 스테이션. 최신식.
Well done. You can use these whenever you need to brew potions or grow plants. Presuming, of course, you've collected any seeds or potion ingredients you need in Hogsmeade or outside the castle grounds. Deke will be here to answer any questions you may have. Do not underestimate his insights.
감사합니다, 교수님. 어디에서나 변형 마법을 쓸 수 있는 건가요?
Can I use this type of transfiguration magic outside of the room?
Conjuring and vanishing are strictly forbidden elsewhere in the castle.
사용할 수
With
없잖아.
charms in place to enforce that. It would be exhausting to reverse the errors in both judgment and magic. But the Room of Requirement has its own rules.
I will be sure to speak with Deke if I need anything. Thank you.
Good luck. I shall linger a bit longer in case you'd like to
반갑습니다.
learn another transfiguration spell for use in the room.
물약이나 만들어 볼까? 물약 재료 있나 근데? 물약 어떻게 만들어 근데? 방금 뭐가 떴는데? 뜨다가 안 떠 자꾸. 아 재료가 무슨 재료 하나밖에 없네. 씨. 이젠 웨이드 물약 하나밖에 못 만드는데? 아이씨 그지네 그냥. 이거 하나 만들죠. 반대로 설치했다고? 벌써 4시간 했어요? 제가 방송을 맨날 늦게 켜가지고 좀 일찍 켜가지고 하려고 좀 최근에 건강이 안 좋은 것 같아가지고 맨날 늦게 켜고 늦게 끄니까 건강 좀 챙겨야 될 것 같아. 원래 이 시간이었어. 맨날 4시 반인가 3시 반에 방송 켰었는데 그러다가 점점 늦춰진 거거든.
I'm ready for the next lesson, Professor.
Very well. First, you'll need to gather some moonstone. You can acquire it by vanishing items here in the Room of Requirement, or you can gather it carefully outside of the Hogwarts grounds. Return to me once you've gathered enough, and we shall begin the lesson.
인테리어 장식하기?
I have the moonstone you requested, Professor.
Good. Then we may begin your lesson. You can conjure more than potions and herbology tables. Conjuration can be used to decorate this space to your liking. Why don't you try it on the walls and floor?
벽걸이와 미술품을 구현하세요? 장식을 구현하세요? 벽걸이? 날개 달린 거. 타워는 겨울. 긴 거울. 구현할 게 뭐 거울 말고 없어. 장식을 구현하고. 장식? 스탠드 조명? 지금 일단 메인만 하고 있어요. 웬만하면 서브도 가끔 하는데 메인만 하고 있어요. 들어오는 입구 쪽에다가 이렇게.
Good work. Shall we move on?
I've conjured everything I can. What's next, Professor?
I think you're ready to take
개조
on
마법은 또 뭐야?
alteration. The altering spell will allow you to
모든 마법 물건을 원하는 대로 바꿀 수 있다고?
You can change the colors,
색상,
patterns, and
패턴,
styles
스타일.
of your furniture to suit
이거는
your
딱히
taste.
배울 필요가 없는데
Let's
어차피
get
여기서밖에
started,
못
shall we?
쓰잖아.
Watch closely as I demonstrate
이거
how to
방
perform
꾸미는
the
용도 아니야
altering
그냥?
spell.
방 꾸미는 용도로 쓰는 것 같은데 이거는? 어차피 나가서 못 쓴다며. 아이고 잘못 눌렀다.
Just aim your wand at any conjured item
아이템의
and
색
perform
스타일을
the
바꾸세요.
altering
색을
spell.
바꾸세요. 크기를 조절하세요. 이거야? 색깔 바꾸라는 거. 크기는 어떻게 조절하는 거지? 아, 이렇게. 나 아이템을 바꾸라 그랬는데. 크기 변경? 아. 색상 변경.
Nicely done. Now you're ready for something a little more advanced. You can use the altering spell directly on the room's architecture. Try these new designs on the floor or balcony.
바닥이나 발코니. 친환경, 중앙동.
Your space might benefit from a bit of ambiance, don't you think? Deke, would you mind?
Of course, Professor Weasley. Professor Weasley showed Deke this bit of magic some years ago. Deke thinks you...
Professor Weasley said I should ask you about changing the room's ambience?
Of course. What sort of overall look most appeals to you?
멋진 달빛을 비추면 완벽할 것 같아? 그래, 나쁘지 않네.
I would like the room to feel as if it's being lit by the moon.
Oh, sounds perfect.
오. 어두워졌어.
Quite a difference. Of course, you needn't keep this style if you don't like it. You can always ask Deke to change it back. Now you have learnt a good bit about alteration.
Thank you, Professor. The room is full of possibilities.
Indeed. No matter how much time I spend here, the room always manages to surprise me.
이제 나가는 건가? 뭐가 자꾸 열려.
An even bigger space.
How did that happen?
The room equips itself to your needs. It must have sensed that you needed more space to practice spellcasting. If you'd like to customize the space further, you can use these spellcrafts. You'll find more of them both inside and outside the school.
Thank you, Professor. I shall keep an eye out.
Good. I'll leave you to it. This is your space now. Use it
결론은
wisely.
이 마법은 별로 그렇게 쓸모가 없네요. 전투나 그런 데서. 그냥 여기서 뭐 여기 방에서만 그냥 방구석에 그냥 방구석 그냥 꾸미는 방구석 꾸미는 용도 아니야. 꾸미는 용도. 방구석 꾸미는 용도로 밖에 못 써요. 밖에서는 못 쓴대. 저거 어떻게 찍냐?
Accio. Levioso. Reparo.
리페로 이미 해놨잖아. 이걸
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
자 다음은 이제 다음 퀘스트 뭐야? 이거는 아니고 세바스찬 만나기? 이거 게임 괜찮습니다. 세바스찬? 쓰레기고 이거. 여기가 가까운 것 같은데. 세바스찬 기다리고 있었어?
Sebastian, it's been a while.
It has. Glad you received my owl. I have something to show you.
First, let me thank you for what you did in the library.
Of course.
얘가 도서관에서 의리를 지켰죠.
But I have ways out of these things.
Well, you took the fall for me, and that counts for something.
Did you find what you were looking for?
I did, but something was missing. I'm not sure here is the best place to discuss it.
Understood. We can talk more in a moment. In the undercroft.
언더크로프트?
Even the professors know about this place.
거기 또 어디야?
This way.
If only a new student.
There's a secret passage just here.
It's well disguised.
아, 여기 뭐가 있네? 쟤는 왜 안 들어와? 빨리 들어와 너도.
How did you find this place?
My friend, Ominous Gaunt.
이 들어왔네?
He named it the Undercroft. We used to play gobstones here all the time. With my sister, Anne. She loved that infernal game. What I wouldn't give to lose to her again. I should tell you, I swore to Ominous I would safeguard this place. So please, keep this between us. He never confides in anyone. But he's trusted me since the day we met. I wouldn't want to jeopardize that. We used to sneak in here
꽉 찼어
almost
장비.
daily.
열려봐. 아, 장비 슬롯 좀 늘리고 싶은데.
We've never been caught.
격자모니 빼돌이? 이거? 나한테 왜 주는 거야?
I think I've seen Ominous in potions. Or was it herbology? I've noticed that he uses his wand to navigate the castle.
He does. No idea how, though. Ominous was born blind, and no spell could reverse it. His wand seems almost sentient. Not surprising, I suppose. Ollivander always says, the wand
지팡이가
chooses the
마법사를
wizard.
Is that
선택한다.
how he found this place?
No, someone in his family knew about it. The Gaunts are full of secrets. I've never heard anyone else speak of it, and I've certainly never seen anyone else here. Again, mention this to no one.
아무한테도 말하면 안 된대요. 여기 왔었다고.
He has no
특히
love lost for his
오미니스한테.
family or their secrets, but this place is special to him.
저는 그리핀도르입니다.
But why does Ominous have no love lost for his family?
His father's family are direct descendants of Salazar Slytherin, one of the 4 founders of Hogwarts. Obsessed with blood status, most of them. Ominous cannot abide them. As I'll be the
가식적이라뇨.
first to tell you.
근본인데요.
The Undercroft has been a perfect place to sneak off to, away from prying eyes, and even practice otherwise forbidden spells.
Really? Like what?
Like the blasting curse.
폭파 저주?
Professors say it's not an appropriate spell to teach students.
말도 안 돼.
A proper magical education ought to include all magic.
My thoughts exactly. A spell like Confringo is only truly dangerous in untrained hands. Such spells should be properly taught, not banned. To be fair, I'm admittedly partial to more fiery forms of magic, but you should learn it. I can teach it to you safely here.
자,
It may take a while
콤프링고.
to get the feel for it. Mimic my wand movement. The incantation is Confringo.
Very well.
세모. X. 네모.
You're getting it. Ready to actually try it out?
장거리 볼트로 적중시 데미지를 줍니다. 불기반 공격을 받은 적은 몇 초 동안 계속 데미지를 입습니다. 그리고 데미지를 입는 동안 적과 충돌하면 화염이 폭발합니다.
Stick to
컴프링크.
Best to keep the Undercroft intact. Have a go at those candelabras. Both have their uses, but I think
컴프링크.
nice work. How's it feel?
It's a tad hot.
맨 밑에 해골 아프라케다브라냐고요? 뭐 이거야? 맞네. 저걸 즉시 처치합니다. 사기 기술인데? 뭐야 이거? 즉사야? 즉사 기술이야? 즉시 처치면은 즉사 아니냐고. 용서받지 못할 저주. 아니 이거 게임에 있으면 안 되는 마법 아닙니까? 아니 이거 보스한테도 그러면 즉시 처치야 그러면? 이건 알지. 윙가디어 레비오사. 이거는 영화에서 많이 나와가지고 하도. 뭐야 또 해야 돼?
Confringo.
컴프링크.
That's it.
I think I've got it.
Well done.
I have to say, I enjoyed that.
The first time Ominous and I practiced Confringo, we singed our eyebrows.
I would have paid to see that.
I swore we'd never live it down. So this day, there's something about that spell that's addictive.
나 이런 주문들을 다 더 배울 준비가 됐다고 하면은 알려주나 나중에?
This is exactly the type of magic I've been hoping to learn.
There's more where that came from. Been practicing similar spells here for ages. Although, I didn't tell Anne and Ominous about every one. Haven't been here in some time. It's not the same
얘도
without
한동안 안
Anne.
왔다.
I'm sorry about your sister. If there's anything I can do...
Perhaps when I next head to Feldcroft, you could come along. Meet Anne. She could use some cheering up.
나도 너무 좋아.
Just let me know when and I'll meet you.
Oh, she misses Hogwarts. She's been stuck at home with our guardian, Uncle Solomon. Unfortunately, you'll have to meet him too. Well, meeting a new student will be precisely what she needs.
I shall look forward to it.
Cheers. By the way, what was it you couldn't discuss out in the hall earlier?
I'm not sure where to start.
You said something was missing from what you found in the library. I assume it's to do with what you told me.
포트키 그린고츠
and Gringotts and
난독과
Ranrock.
Nothing
관련된
gets past you. And yes, it is. As I'm sure you suspect, there is a bit more to all of this.
I'm listening.
진실을 말해줄게.
You must promise to keep this
꼭
between
지켜야
us.
된다.
I trusted you with knowledge of this
장화
secret
없이 못
undercroft.
뭘 알아듣죠.
You can trust me.
All right.
일본어가
I
아닌데
can
어떻게
see
알아듣니?
traces of ancient magic.
영어인데.
Ancient magic. I don't know what I was expecting you to say, but it wasn't that. What does that even mean?
Honestly, I'm not entirely certain. All I know is that I can see whispers of an old magic that hardly anyone else can. Fig and I think that Ranrock has somehow found a way to harness that magic's power.
Are you telling me that goblins may be wielding some sort of wizard magic?
That's what we're trying to find out.
And this ability of yours,
고대 마법
does
사용할
it
수
allow you
있냐는데?
to wield this magic too?
나도 잘 모르는데.
I don't know.
Well, when you do know, tell me. I've been studying archaic forms of magic for ages. Perhaps we can help each other. In the meantime, with both Rookwood and Ranrock after you, I suspect a bit more time practicing the blasting curses in order. Spend as much time here as you'd like. And remember, keep this place between us.
근데 내가 그리핀도르 학생인데 슬리데린 얘하고 시간 가장 많이 보내. 사실상. 사실상 그 반만 그리핀도르고 슬린데일이라고 많이 지내. 왜 안 나와줘?
Hello, Sebastian.
어?
Wait.
야 걸린 거 같은데?
You there? I can hear you.
Oh, hello. Ominous, isn't it?
아 반갑습니다.
I believe we have potions together. And herbology?
I recognize that voice. Heard you talking to Gareth Weasley in potions
이게
class.
재미있어요. 네.
You're the new 5th year. Did you just come from the Undercroft?
대체 거기 어떻게 들어간 거냐고? 이거는 세바스찬에 보여줬다고 하면 안 돼요. 저번에 세바스찬이 감싸줬거든요. 그 도서관에서. 우연히 들어가겠다 구라칩시다. 우연히 들어가게 됐어.
That room's called the Undercroft. Ah, well, I was exploring and then suddenly found myself in a strange passageway.
Don't lie.
거짓말하지 말라는데.
No one stumbles upon
아니야.
that room.
세바스찬이 안 알려줬어.
Sebastian told you, didn't he? You breathe a word about this place to anyone, and not even your precious Professor Fig will be able to help you. My father is friends
우리
with
아빠가
Headmaster.
교장 선생님하고 친구야?
I'm not afraid
그래서
to exploit
묻더라고.
that connection if I
알바노.
need to.
어? 아 정말 아무 말도 하지 않을게.
Trust me, Ominous. I won't say a word. And Sebastian is a good friend. You shouldn't immediately assume the worst of him.
I don't need you to tell me about my oldest friend. Thank you very much.
Ominous, I just meant...
I know what you meant. Sebastian gets himself in enough trouble. He doesn't need your help.
망한 거 같은데?
Sebastian is going to get an earful
세바스찬에게
about this.
두고두고 말한다는데? 아 왜 그래? 새끼야 미쳤나? 마법 한 대 맞을래? 미쳤어? 미쳤냐고.
Some kind soul help me. If only a new student were to help me with my sad predicament.
제노비아 로크?
Are you alright?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
왜 모두가 널 싫어하는데?
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoilsports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind.
Leander Pruitt?
I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
흥미로운걸?
Gobstones? Sounds like a fun challenge.
That's what I tried to tell everyone. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
나라도 그랬을 거야.
Sounds as if you caused the smelly situation and they responded accordingly.
I didn't make the rules. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
넌 친구가 없어? 라고 말하면 안 되겠죠? 확실한 약속은 못하겠어.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
제노비아의 고스톤 찾기?
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
여기 뭐가 있는데? PC판 지금 별로 안 좋다고요? 최적화? 그래요? 항상 플스5가 옳다. 레페. 들어가면 안 되는 것 같은데? 여기 근처에 찾아야 되는 거 아니야? 지도상으로는 여기 근처인데. 어? 저건가?
Well, it's one of Zenobia's gobstones. I hardly see what all the fuss is about.
아, 반갑습니다. 또 하나는 어디 있을까요? 어? 그냥 누르니까 그냥 알아서 찾아지는데? 사실 어디인지 몰랐는데? 그냥 누르니까 알아서 찾아지는데?
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
What are you up to now?
다시 내려가야 돼?
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
오, 계단 생기고. 뭔가 이거 푸는 게 그런 게 있는 것 같은데 난 아직 잘 모르겠어. 좀. 이 근방에 하나 있는데 어디 있는 거지? 이거는 불을 밝혀야 되는 것 같은데요? 인센디오. 어이씨, 머리가 안 되네. 아니 뭐야? 아 저기 어떻게 가는 거지?
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
마지막 하나가 여기 근방에 있다는데 과연 어디 있을까요?
That's the last of Zenobia's gobstones. I should go and see her.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
야 이게 어째 메인캐보다 서브캐가 더 어려운데? 퀘스트가? 아 뭐 당연한 건가? 그거는? 아 근데 너 이거 너무 계단이 너무 늦게 생기는 거 아니야? 방금 떨어질 뻔했는데? 생기기 전에? 안 먹어. 아이씨 이거 어디까지 가야 돼? 제발 깼는데 좋은 거 주라. 힘들게 하고 왔어.
Hello, Zenobia. I found all your gobstones.
Really? I didn't think it was possible. However did you do it?
Common sense and basic magic.
Well, may I have my gobstones back?
아니? 내가 가져야겠어. 그럼 물론이지. 내가 가져야겠어 할까? 좀 불쌍한가? 그러면? 그럼 물론이지.
Of course. They are yours after all.
Oh, how wonderful. I shall dedicate all of my future victories to you. Speaking of which, now that I have all my gobstones back, I wonder if anyone in the common room would be up for a game.
최악이다는 뭐야? 정말 좋은 생각이야.
I'm sure they'd be willing to play after the trouble spent getting them back. It's a fine idea.
Isn't it? Oh, we'll have so much fun together laughing as all the losers get sprayed, which won't include me. Very well, off I go. Wish me luck.
뭐 준 거죠 그래서? 경험치 말고 얻은 게 없는데? 레벨링 한 거네 그냥 사실상. 어? 교수님 안 자고 뭐 하세요? 지금까지. 교수님이 잠이 없으시네. 자, 다음 퀘스트 한번 깨러 가볼까요? 다음 퀘스트 뭐죠? 피그 교수님께서 돌아오셨고 학교 아래에서 발견한 사라진 페이지들과 비밀의 지도 내시를 보여드릴 생각에 흥분된다. 뭐야? 윙가디언 레비오사? 베네우스 텐타큘라를 획득하고 사용하세요? 맨드레이크를 획득하고 다수의 적들을 상대로 사용하세요? 윙가디언 레디오사 이거 배우고 싶은데 이거 과제가 어떻게 깨는 건지 모르는데. 텐타큘라? 베네우스 텐타큘라가 뭐야? 어디로 가야 되는 거지? 베네우스 텐타큘라가 어디 있는지 내가 어떻게 알아? 맨드레이크는 또 어디 있는 거고? 매직 리프나 도기드 데스캡을 방문하면 된다. 이번엔 필드 가이드가 과제 위치를 안내하지 않지만 지도를 활용해 탐험하면 될 것 같다. 매직 리프나 도기드와 데스캡? 식물을 사야 되는 거야? 사가지고 내가 길러가지고 만들어야 되는 건가? 그 뭐냐 노또 그거 뭐냐 최근에 뭐 1등 3번 당첨됐다는데? 3번 맞나? 한 사람이 똑같은 번호 해가지고 3개 당첨됐다며. 3등도 2개 당첨되고. 어디서 본 거 같은데? 형이 알려줘가지고 1등 똑같은 사람이 3개 당첨됐대. 3개. 그래가지고 70억 받았다는데? 70억 받았는데 거기서 떼가지고 48억인가 50 몇억인가 받았다는데?
I was hoping to see you.
You're back.
Finally.
돌아오셨군요,
Minister
드디어.
Spavin
교수님.
talks more than he listens. Ranted on and on about rogue dragons. Wouldn't listen to a word about goblins. Speaking of which...
Listen, Professor. So much happened while you were away. Nearly Headless Nick asked me to get some rotten roast beef from the kitchens.
Rotten roast beef?
Yes, I thought it was odd too. But then we took the roast beef to Sir Podmore of the Headless Hunt, and...
You met the Headless Hunt? That must have been interesting, to say the...
Yes. And then I had to find Richard Jackdaw's head in the pumpkins so that he'd tell me about how he died.
Who on earth is Richard Jackdaw?
He was a student here long ago.
여기 학생이었어.
Anyway, he
오래전.
told me about a secret cavern. I went there, and right next to Jackdaw's skeleton, I found the missing pages.
You found the pages?
I did. And because Jackdaw had followed the map they contained, when I found the pages, I found the location on the map. Believe it or not, it's a room below Hogwarts.
Why am I not surprised? Shall we?
I was hoping you'd say that. Oh, and we'll need to bring the book.
이제 아래로 가야 되나? 아래에 뭐 있나 본데? 지도 내실로
The room
들어가기.
is called the Map Chamber, by the way. And a portrait of Percival Rackham awaits us there.
Professor Rackham. I look forward to meeting him. How did this Jackdaw get the pages from the book?
Evidently, Peeves stole them,
반갑습니다.
and Jackdaw stole them from him.
Oh, Peeves. To think it was beneath us all this time.
해리포터 패러디 게임이냐고? 그건 아니지 않나? 맞다고 해도 아니라고.
This looks promising.
책을 놓으니까 뭔가가 나오는데? 와우.
A map.
지도야.
There's Hogsmeade. And over here, the Forbidden Forest. And, of course, Hogwarts. It's magnificent. If only you were here to see this.
조상아랑 대화를.
Hello, Professor Rackham. We've placed the book on the pedestal as you asked. And this is my mentor, Professor Fig.
How do you do, Professor Fig? And you, my young friend, see now why you needed to return with the book?
I do. I also see why you refer to this room as the map chamber.
That you have come this far tells me that you possess extraordinary magical ability, the potential and power of which will unlock should you prove yourself worthy. The location of each of 4 trials will, in time, appear on the map.
네 군데?
Trials that will test you and
정해진
give you
시간에
access
진행돼요.
to invaluable knowledge. Trials that you must complete
나
on
혼자만의
your
힘으로
own.
완료했는데.
Do you recall the pensive memory you viewed in my vaulting Gringotts?
그린고치에 있는 금고에서 봤던 펜시브의 내용? 기억 안 나는데요?
I do recall seeing the memory, but I don't remember all of the details.
My friend Charles and I spoke of the portkey and of trials we'd created for one who could see traces of ancient magic. Charles is another of the keepers, a designation we gave ourselves centuries ago, in light of the knowledge that we have been bound to keep hidden. Until perhaps now.
So, the passage from your ruins to Gringotts, everything in the vault, the restricted section, finding this room, none of these was a trial.
They were an important part of the journey, but they were not trials themselves. The fact that you have come this far, however, bodes well. The trials were designed to ensure that the power and knowledge we have kept secret for so long does not fall into the wrong hands. They will test your abilities, both innate and learned. But of equal importance, everything you witness as you complete the trials will inform what you choose to do with all that we share. You will need patience. The trials have much to teach you.
결론은 시험을 4개를 다 치러야 된다는 거 아니야?
I'm afraid we don't have the luxury of time.
We have waited this long, Professor Fig. Surely a few more.
Respectfully, sir, while I do not know the secret you keep, I do know that our young friend here has seen traces of a powerful dark magic being wielded by goblin kind. And we encountered an uncommonly powerful goblin wielding such magic as we prepared to leave your vault at Gringotts. We may already be too late.
This is grave news indeed. Young friend, do you trust Professor Fig?
I do.
Then, in the light of your considerable skill and all you have already
바로 시험하는 거야?
we
첫
shall
번째
begin.
시험 장소
You will
이
find the
밑에 있는
location of the
지도에
first
표시돼 있어.
trial marked on the map below you. Whilst Professor Fig may assist you in locating the trials,
시험
they
자체는
may
나
be
혼자 완수해야
completed only
되고
by
장소를
one
찾는
with
걸
our
도와줄 수 있다고
ability.
하네요.
Shall we have a look? I know that tower. It's not far.
멀지 않아?
You may have seen it yourself.
봤던 거 같아요.
It looks familiar. Perhaps your young friend is more well-traveled than you might think.
As your mentor, The least I can do is go ahead to make sure it is safe. Join me as
탑으로
soon
오래,
as you
탑으로.
can.
탑에서 뵐게요.
I'll find you at the tower as soon as I can.
Until then, be careful and do not tell anyone where you're going.
여러분들이 보기에는 이거 게임 메인만 깬다고 하면은 시간 몇 시간이면 엔딩 볼 것 같습니까? 분량이 어느 정도 될 것 같아요? 이거 20시간에서 50시간? 20? 20이면 벌써 아까 어제 새벽에 4시간 했으니까 하고 지금 한 5시간인가 6시간 했으니까 그럼 벌써 50% 한 거야 지금? 근데 이게 좀 애매한 게 이게 마법이 생각보다 많지가 않아요. 마법이 지금 몇 개 남았냐? 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯 개, 7개, 8개, 9개, 10개, 11, 12개 12개만 배우면 다 배운 거거든요? 지금 여기서 있는 것 중에 그래가지고 분량이 많을 것 같진 않긴 하거든. 게임 플레이 사이트 보니까 평균 49시간이에요? 그거 49시간이 메인만 밀었을 때 49시간 아니지 않나? 다 해가지고 49시간 아니야? 서브랑 다 해가지고 다 즐길 거 다 즐긴 다음에 그래야 50시간 되는 것 같은데 거의. 그러니까 메인만 밀면 금방 깰 것 같긴 해. 근데 와 이거 맵이 왜 이래 이거? 어? 아 뭐야 1400이나 가야 된다고?
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented.
이거 텔포 타고 못 가나? 아 나와 보세요. 여기로 가면 되겠지 뭐. 저쪽인데? 호그스미드로 가면 안 되는데? 여기거든요? 탑에 있는 피그 교수를 만나세요? 아, 저기까지 가야 돼? 아, 이거 언제 가냐, 이거. 여기 금지된 수. 여기 호그와트 북쪽 지역. 여기에서 걸어가야 될 것 같은데? 여기 텔포해가지고. 아 이거 지팡이 배웠는데 지팡이를 안 타고 가네. 지팡이 사야 되나? 사가지고 가야 되는 건가? 언제까지 뚜벅초로 걸어갈 거야 언제까지? 어? 쟤 좀 위험한 애들 아닌가? 착한 애들인가요? 착한 애들? 아 착한 아저씨들이네. 나쁜 놈인 줄 알았는데. 착한 분들이에요 착한 분들. 빨리 잡아주세요. 응애 빨리 처치해줘. 거미 처치. 에이씨 도와주지 않아야지. 이렇게 미쳐가지고 거미 아이씨 잠깐만요. 레벨 차이가 너무 많이 나. 거미하고 나오고 지금 레벨 9 차이 남. 9 차이. 여기 좀 랩제가 높아. 여기 금지된 숲이라. 어?
Head in the clouds, this
쟤네 싸우고 있는데? 아니, 뭐야? 싸움 구경이겠다. 싸움 구경. 일로 오세요. 일로 오세요. 일로 오세요. 일로 오세요. 내가 도와줄게요. 그리고요 한 마리 끝. 넷. 내가 도와줬어. 잘했지. 어시스트 했어. 어시스트. 야, 마법 좀 집어넣어야겠다. 콤프링거 이거 집어넣어. 뭐지? 뭐야? 갑자기 부금이 왜 이래 이거? 뭔데?
You try casting Petrificus Totalis on me. You may want.
쉐키가. 아, 쉣. 이거랑 뭐가 있지? 저기서 뭔가 무슨 일이 일어나고 있는 것 같긴 한데. 아, 언제 왔어? 아니. 아, 체력이 없는데요, 저? 아이씨, 안 맞아. 이거랑 뭐가 있어? 어딨지? 안 돼!
Well then, fancy myself a bit of mushroom.
여정이 종료되었습니다. 다 여기서부터 다시. 아, 이거 범위가 너무 쓰레기야. 아, 이건 막을 수가 없는데.
If you last that long.
뭐야? 아, 진짜. 아이, 치사하게 이 친구들. 너무 치사한 거 아니야? 아니, 세 명에서 저렇게 하면 내가 어떻게 다 막니? 아, 좀 도와줘봐. 그 아까 걔는 어디 갔어? 아, 진짜. 쟤 뭐야, 쟤 날라갔는데?
I tell you this.
Accio. Incendio. Confringo.
와. 아, 거미줄.
Incendio.
인센디오.
A castle. Must have been quite stately in its time.
거의 다 온 것 같은데? 300m? 다이아몬드 스웨터 교복? 오. 오, 방어력 좀 올라가네. 잡종견 추적.
Accio. Incendio. Confringo.
진짜 안 뒤지네. 오씨. 도와줘 빨리.
Accio. Incendio.
저 아래에 뭐가 있는데? 얘 뭐야? 강에 사는 트롤? 트롤이 더 레벨이 더 낮네? 레벨 11달인데 11달이? 체크포인트 찍고요. 여기야?
Over here.
We're not alone.
We are not. Ranrock's loyalists.
인근에 난록에
around a
추종자들이
dozen I
있대요.
can see, but could be more.
Can't we apparate past them into the tower?
We could, but we've no idea what's in the tower. More importantly, however, I'd like to know why they're here. They've set up camp just ahead. I suggest we investigate a little before doing anything else. Let's go.
Well, this isn't ideal.
No, it isn't.
고블린이 이곳에 왜 있는지에 대해 조사하세요?
I'd suggest we use the disillusionment charm here. No sense in announcing our arrival. Quickly now.
눈에 띄지 않게 적에게 몰래 다가가면 페트리피쿠스 토탈루스를 시전할 수 있습니다. 약한 적은 처치되며 강한 적엔 큰 데미지를 줄 것이야. 암살 공격이네. 암살 공격. 그러면은 은신 써가지고 가야 되는데.
Stay hidden and cast Petrificus Totalus.
죽으면 어떻게 해요?
Petrificus Totalus. Well done.
엣!
There must be something here. Ranrock says so.
저 아무것도 안 했어요. 이거 개꿀이네 개꿀. 걔 나이먹 아니냐? 나이먹 오지고.
Do with a nice mushroom stew about now.
아 장비 솔로 꽉 찼네. 또 아이템 버려야 돼. 씨. 이건 뭐죠? 장비 좀 버립시다. 아 이거 좀 슬롯 좀 눌러주지 좀. 씨. 필요 없는 거 다 갖다 버려. 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 전설은 냅둬. 전설은 냅두고. 이게 더 좋네.
One of the best meals I've ever eaten.
이건 뭘까요? 같이 해주세요. 뭐 눈치 뭐야 눈치 까도 뭐 되는데 이거 마법이 가까이만 가면은 눈치 까도 가까이만 가면 그냥 바로 되는구만 이거. 이제 없나 본데? 이제 없는 거 아니야? 다 잡았대. 탑과 주변 지역을 수색해봐. 그 이름과 관련된 거랑 뭐든지 찾아내야 돼. 여기서 우리가 찾아낸 게 이 세계에서 고블린 종족의 당당한 자리를 찾아내는 열쇠가 될지 모른다. 난록? 어? 아, 은신할 거 그랬나?
You explain the stench. Why is coming back this way? Wait, finish. This is sad. Really, it is.
봐. 레벨 11짜리가 어디서 나 레벨 20렙짜리 목 잡고 온 사람이야. 어? 20레벨짜리 잡고 온 사람이라고.
Many goblins have always been antagonistic towards wizard kind, but this is different somehow. Oh, I'm glad that's so. Looks like we found the entrance.
It's locked.
열렸네. 어두워.
An unlocking charm.
어두울 때는 마법을 써야 돼요. 이거 봐, 이거 마법.
Lumos.
Lumos.
No time now, but if you don't learn it soon enough, we can work on it back at the castle.
탑을 조사해라. 미학인 머리 보고. 이게 디아블로 요소도 하나 넣어놨어. 미학인 템들이 가끔 나옵니다. 네.
I imagine these brooms have been
풀어줘야 돼요.
enchanted for
가가지고
centuries.
마을 가가지고.
Never seen an enchantment last.
Welcome to Sanbakar's Tower.
미학인 템들도 있어가지고. 이건가?
Hello, Professor. Did you say Sambakar's Tower?
I did. Professor Bakar is a keeper you have yet to encounter. I'm glad to see that I was correct in presuming that we would meet again soon after our last encounter. Though I surmise, based on the commotion I heard, that you did not have an easy time getting to me.
We did not, Professor. We encountered goblins outside the tower.
That goblins were aware of my vault is disquieting enough. But if they have also made a connection to this tower, then the threat may be greater than I thought. All the more reason for us to move forward. Downstairs, near the entry, a reservoir of ancient magic, like those you've seen before, has been unlocked. Commanded to access a doorway. I'm afraid I cannot say more. As Professor Fig cannot join you, he and I will, in time, see you back at the map chamber.
혼자 가야 돼 이제?
Remember what you see.
We're going to need to understand how Ranrock's loyalists knew about a tower that once belonged to a keeper. For the moment, however, you've more important things to set your mind to. A reservoir of ancient magic, I believe?
Yes, sir.
Then I shall leave matters in your increasingly capable hands. That said, be careful.
I will, sir. I'll see you back in the map chamber.
사라지셨네.
A reservoir of ancient magic. Downstairs, near the entry.
일단은 그 전에 뭐 배워야 되는데 어딨지? 재능. 엑스펠리아무로스로 적에게 저주와 같은 효과를 겁니다. 저주받은 적은 받는 데미지가 증가합니다. 주문. 컴프링고를 쓸 때 화염 화살이 적들을 향해 날아갑니다. 이거 배워야지. 필요해 봐. 이건 나중에. 기본 주문을 가하면 주문 쿨다운이 감소됩니다. 프로테고 방어에 성공하면 고대 마법 MP 상승합니다. 이거 배워보고. 회피를 길게 누르면 빠르게 사라졌다가 근처에 다시 나타납니다. 뭐야 이거? 아 이거 배워야 돼. 주문 세트. 이거 아까 안 배웠었어. 이거 배워야 돼. 이거 배워야지. 세트 늘어난다고. 여기다 또 집어넣을 수 있죠. 아 반갑습니다. 이제 여기다가 이거 집어넣는 거야. 이런 거 트랩. 아니 여기다가 이거 집어넣고 이거 집어넣고 이거 집어넣고 이런 거는 이제 평소에 전투할 때 안 쓰잖아요. 집어넣고 전투할 때는 이제 다른 슬롯으로 바꾸고 이렇게. 그리고 어디 있냐? 이거를 이제 여기다 집어넣고. 이것도 괜찮긴 한데 네비우스. 야 바닥에 뿌려져 있는 거 마셔도 되는 거냐? 뭐가 있어? 시험에 참가하라는데? 일단 장비 먹은 거 좀 봐볼까요? 장비 뭐 몇 개 먹었지 않았나? 이거 바로 갈갈이 해주고. 갈갈이. 이게 더 높네? 1 더 높아. 1 등급은 낮은데. 미학인 보자. 갈갈이.
I've seen this before, in Gringotts and the restricted section.
아래는 뭐죠? 위에는 뭐가 아래는 뭐야? 일단 절로 가는 게 목적인데 아래에서 뭔가를 해야지 위로 갈 수 있는 길이 열리겠죠?
That must have done something. Best have a look around.
상자는 뭐야? 뭔가 느낌이 이거 기사 잡아야 되는 것 같은데 이거 느낌이 괜히 있는 게 아닌 것 같은데 이거.
More traces of ancient magic. Something must be different.
들어온 거 아닌가? 아, 일로 들어가야 되나?
These are never a welcome sight.
아, 싸워야 되네.
At least I know what to expect this time.
오, 날라온다. 새끼, 이거나 먹어, 이 새끼. 뭐야? 종이 쪼가리네. 맞아, 패링. 맞아, 컴프링글. 일로 와. 빠.
These look familiar.
아키오가 짱이지 않냐고요? 2급 비밀입니다. 퍼즐인가 본데? 빼지지가 않는 거. 없습니다. 그런 여자 없어요. 글러브? 저쪽도 있는데? 저 반대편? 일단은 망토랑 뭐 이런 거 좀 더 좋은 거 얻었네요. 글러브 공격력 22. 이건 쓰레기고. 쓰레기. 갈갈이.
What did that burst of magic do? Perhaps I should examine things from both sides of the archway. More statues.
아, 또 싸워야 돼? 아! 아이고.
Confringo. Incendio.
아이고 씨.
Confringo. Incendio.
쓰레기 피해주고. 피하고. 써주고. 일로 와 이 새끼야. 뒤져.
Not making this easy on me.
아, 느낌이 이것도 살아날 것 같은데 이거. 여기 뭐가 있나? 계단에 있네. 저기 뭐가 있나? 문이 생겼어. 문.
Seems I ought to explore this archway from both sides.
이거를 내리고 다시 가야 되나? 끌리진 않네. 아, 반갑습니다. 내릴 수 있나 근데? 애초에 내릴 수 있는지가 의문인데? 잠깐만. 내가 일단 한번 해볼게요. 이걸로 할 수 있나? 공중에 띄우는 거잖아 이거는. 일단은 너보고 생각을 해보자.
What did that burst of magic change on both sides of the archway? Something must be different.
Levioso.
안 되는데? 아, 오케이. 여전한데 아직. 그리고 이거를 이제 일로 여기다가.
I need to see how the room changes when I move in and out of the archway. 전설 머리 보고. 전설 보고. 근데 이거를 여기다가 놓으면 안 되지 않나? 그럼 내가 못 가잖아. 바꾼 다음에. 다시 돌아가면은 아마 안 되지 않나? 되나? I need to use both sides of the archway to get the platform to the other side of the bridge.
아, 됐다. 해결 완료. 갈 수 있죠, 이러면.
I'll never get used to these floors.
아이씨.
Expelliarmus. Confringo.
예.
Incendio.
예.
Expelliarmus.
예. 해야 돼. 으아.
Incendio. Confringo. Expelliarmus.
피하고.
Incendio.
피하고.
Expelliarmus. Confringo.
해야 돼. 어우.
Incendio.
아. 파.
Expelliarmus. Confringo. Confringo. Expelliarmus.
게임이 쉬우냐고요? 이거 비밀입니다. 쉬운지 안 쉬운지. 이 정도 퍼즐이면은 그래 무난한 정도인데? 난 솔직히 이게 이거보다 차라리 그 제에다 있죠. 제에다 퍼즐이 더 어려운데? 예. 오씨 떨어질 뻔했어. 이거 어떻게 가는 거지 근데? 아닌데 이거? 아 저기 뭐가 저기 있구나. 올라타가지고 이리로 가야 돼. 이게 맞나? 저거를 애초에 꺼냈으면 안 되는 것 같은데?
Now to see what's changed on each side of this archway.
입구에서 뭐가 변했는지 확인해보자고? 여기서 점프할 수 있나? 슬레이 도약! 아... 아이 이런. 아 애초에 건드렸으면 안 되는데 저거를. 여기 아닌가 본데요? 아니면 이거 이렇게 꺼내놓은 다음에 다시 돌아가야 되나 본데? 다시 돌아가가지고 바꾼 다음에 다시 돌아가야 되는 거 아니야? 아까 뭐 있고 어쩌고 얘기하는 거. 여기서 다시 포탈 한번 탄 다음에 포탈 타는 거 맞아 근데? 그래 이거 이걸 안 하고 가는 건가? 안 하고 저 가면 되는 거 같은데. 이거 이러면 안 보이잖아 아무것도. 아 여기서 저거를 하면 안 돼? 저거 안 돼. 아 여기 끄는 게 있네 이쪽에. 뭐야? 이거 뭐죠? 뭐지 이게?
Revelio.
상자 있다. 이 빛은 도대체 뭘까요?
Confringo. Incendio. Expelliarmus. Reparo.
저 아닐 거.
Lumos.
루모스.
Leviosa. Accio.
뭔 뜻인지 모르겠네. 이제 저기를 가야 되는데 저기를 어떻게 가지? 뭔가 발판이 뭔가 있어야 되는데 가려면은.
Revelio.
위에 따로 뭐 없는데? 설마 내가 이거 발판을 옮겨놔가지고 망한 건가? 그런 거 다시 해볼까 한번? 처음부터? 다시.
Accio.
근데 여기서는 안 보이네 또. 여기서는 안 보이고 저쪽에선 보이거든요. 여기 투명 블럭이야. 투명 블럭. 투명 블럭이네. 아 여기서 봤을 때는 여기 아래가 지금 저기 끝에 있죠? 아래가 보이거든? 근데 여기서 안 보면은 이제 안 보이죠? 이쪽 시야로 봤을 때는. 그러면은 여기서 이제 위로 이거 타가지고 저거 넘어가야 되는 거 아니냐고. 저기 더 안 끓여져 있어. 안 돼? 이걸 이제 이동시켜야 되는데. 다음 쪽으로. 이거 안 보이는 거를 이동시켜. 됐는데 씨. 잘 되고 있었는데. 보면은 저 안 보이는 발판 있죠? 안 보이는 발판까지는 가야 돼. 간 다음에 저 안 보이는 발판에 끌어와가지고 못하냐?
Don't like the look of this.
Expelliarmus. Expelliarmus. Incendio. Confringo. Incendio. Incendio. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Incendio. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Confringo. Expelliarmus. 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 Confringo. Potato. Expelliarmus. Confringo. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Potato. Stupefy. Confringo. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Confringo. Expelliarmus. Potato. Stupefy. Confringo. Expelliarmus.
What a relief. Another pensive.
Your ability to transfigure the world around you is remarkable. What is it?
My father isn't getting better. I don't think he'll ever recover from the death of my brother.
It is agonizing to see those we love suffer.
The drought was years ago, but the pain of losing him is as deep for him now as if it had happened only yesterday. He doesn't need pretty pillars, he needs peace. What if I could help him, Professor?
You do so much for your father already.
It's not enough. I want to take away his pain.
It is tempting, I know, to use this magic that you're mastering to transfigure more than the physical world. But human emotion is a potent force unto itself. Even the most well-meaning and competent witch cannot possibly know the consequences of irrevocably manipulating it.
So I'm to watch as my father's pain destroys him.
It is not your pain to take. Every year, a student sees something sillier than I could ever imagine in their tea leaves. Oh, Miss Morganach, welcome back to Hogwarts, Professor.
That's going to take some getting used to. Professor Rickwood?
I was so pleased to hear that you'd accepted the position of Defense Against the Dark Arts, Professor.
Sit, Isadora. Tell us about your travels.
I was actually hoping that you and the others might join me at my home this evening. There's much I'd like to share with you.
That would be delightful. We shall let the others know.
Very well. I shall see you then.
Another memory. Now to find a way out of here. More crystallized stone. That must be the way back to the map chamber.
What have we here?
I'm a student at Hogwarts, sir. And this is Professor Fig.
Professor Charles Rookwood at your service. Has someone completed the first trial?
I have, Professor Rookwood. We saw you in the Pensive in Gringotts with Professor Rackham.
Indeed. So, you found the portkey to access Professor Rackham's vault, and you deciphered the map within the locket you found floating above that Pensive.
I did. I found something that I can't identify floating above the last Pensive.
Ah, yes. You will find a similar artifact in each trial. You must take care to keep them safe. You will need them to complete the journey we have set forth for you. Once you have them all, we will tell you what to do with them.
Very well. Are you able to tell me anything about the next trial?
Before you proceed, I would like to speak with Charles regarding the urgent situation involving the goblins.
The goblins?
The student has seen traces of a powerful dark magic being wielded by goblin kind. They and their mentor, Professor Fig, not only encountered goblins lurking outside of San Bakar's tower, they also encountered a powerful goblin in my vault at Gringotts.
I'm afraid it would be wise to halt the trials until we know more.
We shall defer to you in this matter, of course. Now then...
Wait, Professor. The name Rookwood. Do you think...
that there's a connection to Victor? Perhaps, but we can't be sure of its significance, if any. For now, tell me what you saw in the Pensive.
Before the witch from the last Pensive, Isadora, became a Hogwarts professor, she argued with Professor Rackham about using magic to remove pain.
Hopefully the next pensive provides more context. For now, we should learn what Ranrock knows. I will be honest, I've no idea where to start.
Actually, I might know of someone. I saw Sirona at the Three Broomsticks speaking to a goblin once. They seemed friendly.
Well, it's worth a try. See what you can find out. Of course, don't forget...
My studies. Yes, sir.
Before you go...
Professor?
Have you encountered swirling traces of magic in the world? Aside from those along our path?
Not that I recall. What are they?
Evidence of the Keeper's efforts to manipulate the power of ancient magic during our time. If I am correct, and I usually am, you should be able to use them to inform and enhance your own magic.
Thank you, sir. I will look out for them. I should ask Sirona at the Three Broomsticks about the goblin she was talking to the day of the troll attack.